Hey, hello, good morning, good afternoon, Caterpillar fans. My name is Umberto Fidanza. I welcome you to this session about Caterpillar soil compactors. Just let me introduce myself a few seconds. My name is Umberto Fidanza. I'm based in Bologna, Italy, where we have a Caterpillar paving factory where we produce utility compactors, pavers, and cold planers. I am a management engineer. I've been working in Caterpillar for 15 years. I got experience in operations, supply chain management, and project management. I'm currently in the cut paving sales and marketing team, taking care of Africa, Middle East, and Eurasia. So I mentioned paving. Paving is the division in Caterpillar that builds 7 platforms, 70 models. At the bottom of this slide, you see compactors for asphalt, different type of compactors for asphalt and for soil. But we also build pavers, recyclers, mixers, stabilizers, reclaimers, and cold planers. So a wide range of solutions for soil compaction and road construction and road maintenance. So this today we're gonna talk about soil compactors specifically. So when we talk about soil compaction, what do we mean exactly? Soil compaction is the process to mechanically increase the density of a material by removing the air voids inside the material, between the particles that compose the material. So it's basically by increasing the density, we increase the stiffness of the material and improve the load-bearing capability of the material, which is our ultimate purpose. So how do we do that? How do we remove those air voids between the particles? By exerting 4 different types of weight. Static weight, the simple application of weight over a material. Manipulation, a complex type of force which acts in several directions concurrently. Impact, which mimics the action of a hammer, the strike of hammers. And vibration, all those forces contribute to reorient the particles of the material in a way that let them occupy less space. So why is it important to compact the base before building an infrastructure, whether it be a building or a road? Because a poorly compacted base will basically compact later and with serious effects on the overlaying infrastructure. You can have holes, you can have depressions, alligator cracking on roads, rutting under the load of truck tires, differential settlement. So very serious effects. That's why it's very important that soil compactors do their job effectively and upfront before the construction of the overlaying infrastructure. So let's go a little bit through the Caterpillar soil compactors models range. Um, we have compactors range from 7 tons to 20 tons. On the left, the lightest one, 7 tons for smallest jobs, and has layers thickness to compact, and also size of the aggregates of the stones in the aggregates to compact increase. You need higher weight, higher power. So we move to the 10 to 12 tons size class, which is the most used in standard road construction application, and then 14 to 16 tons when layers thickness increase, and 18 to 20 tons for largest infrastructure, thicker layers. I'm thinking dams, I'm thinking railway bases, airports bases. And on the bottom, it's all smooth drum compactors. The smooth drum is the one that is best fit for the granular types of soil, typically gravel, but we also have more cohesive type of soils, such as clay or silt, where the pad foot compactor is best suited. So we also have a range of pad foot drum compactors. And in green, there are models that are offered both in Europe and Africa and Middle East. In yellow, the ones offered in Africa and Middle East. In blue, the ones offered in Europe. So a really very high and wide range of products which help select the best product for the right application, plus a lot of attachments, a lot of optional selections for every type of need. So when we think about the customer needs, we think about helping the customer save time and money first, be comfortable, and do the job effectively without too much stress, too much complexity, and achieve superior compaction performance, compact per the job site specs. So how do we help achieve those dimensions? So the first one is longer service intervals. By having longer service intervals, we save money. And we have a couple of features we're going to go through here really quickly to show how Caterpillar soil compactors help get longer service intervals. The first thing we're going to talk about is the cut exclusive pot style vibe system. So how does we said, these are vibratory soil compactors. How does the front drum vibrate, and by doing so acting with the vibrating compaction force and with an impact compaction force, we have basically inside the drum two eccentric weights. These eccentric weight rotates inside the drum, and by rotating, it creates a vibration, and it also creates an impact. The drum is going to move vertically. It's going to have a travel on the vertical dimension, which is called amplitude. So this is how it vibrates through the rotation of internal eccentric weight. But we see in most of the application that we need to have two different types of amplitudes. So how do we change the setting from the high amplitude to the low amplitude and vice versa? We do that normally having a counterweight inside the vibe system. So when the counterweight is in the opposite direction, then the eccentric weight, the amplitude of the driven by the eccentric weight will be diminished, will be lower, and we're going to get a low amp. If we turn these vibe system in the other direction, here is turning clockwise. If we turn it counterclockwise, the internal counterweight will move in the opposite direction, close to the eccentric weight, and we're going to get a high amplitude. So why is this system special for Caterpillar? Because the counterweight is not a steel block of steel rotating and clanging against a stop, creating metal shavings that can affect the oil bath and can decrease the life of the bearings. All the counterweight is confined, is those steel bolts completely confined into a closed housings. So no contamination of the of the oil bath, and no longer life of the bushing and overall the vibrating system. We can offer a 3 years, 3,000 service interval on all our products, which is almost 1 or 2 times or even 3 times more than the standard offering. So another system that really helps decrease the time spent in the maintenance of the machine is the Seal for Life hitch. The hitch connects at the middle of the machine the rear frame with the cab, with the rear tires, with the engine compartment to the front with the vibrated drum on the front. So the hitch in all Caterpillar soil compactors is sealed for life, virtually maintenance free, no grease zerks. Other features that help keep the maintenance costs low is the ground level access to all service areas, very wide access, right side daily service, easy to detect, easy to access to, radiator, very easy to access and to clean, visual indicators, 500 hours engine oil service intervals, self-monitoring operator alert system. So in addition to longer service intervals, another way to save money is to save compaction passes. Avoid unnecessary compaction passes. Understand when the target compaction has been reached, and move over to another lane. So we have the cut compaction control, which is several different technology. So for instance, we have the CMV, an optional technology, accelerometer based. It works basically with the fact that when the drum vibrates, it transfers energy to the ground, and in return, it gets a reaction from the ground up. Now, the stiffer the soil, the more compacted the soil, the higher this reaction will be. So this reaction is measured by an accelerometer and translated into a figure that is displayed on the operator display. So the operator can see the stiffness growing pass after passes. And this can assess stiffness of the soil and dense density up to 1.2 meter depth. So this is accelerometer based. We also have another system that works on a completely different principle. It works on assessing the rolling resistance of on the front drum that the machine encounters when it compacts the soil. It's similarly to if you're pushing a wheelbarrow on a soft soil, on sand, on a beach, you're going to encounter a lot of resistance because the soil is soft, is not compacted, is exerting a lot of rolling resistance. If the soil is stiff, compacting, solid, then you're going to encounter a lot of less resistance. So this value again is translated into a value you can see on the operator display, and hence assess the stiffness of soil and the compaction. And this works also with vibe off. You don't need to have the vibration on, and you can also use it on the cohesive soil with pet food drums, where accelerometer based systems do not work very well. And this is exclusive for Caterpillar, is an exclusive technology of Caterpillar. So in addition to these systems, you can also have mapping, GNSS based, which basically relates the compaction, the frequency, the pass count measured by these systems to a location and maps it. So you can understand how many passes you made in each location, and understand when the target type amount of passes or compaction is achieved, and move over. So that helps a lot save passes. But you also want to save fuel, and you do that with the cut ACERT proven reliable Caterpillar engines, all Caterpillar engines on Caterpillar Soil Compactors, C4.4, C7.1, with the standard eco mode that allows to set up the rotation per minute, the RPM of the engine, to what is needed to get the job done effectively in standard conditions. So you save up to 18% with the standard eco mode, which is easily activated through a simple button. So the other dimension that our customer care a lot of is making the job easy, not complex. You don't need to be a rocket science engineer to operate this machine. Very simple to operate. Let's see a few things that we have in this in this field. So very large mirrors for optimal visibility, very large central mirror, unobstructed views to the front of the drum and to the back, to the tire edges. Also on the B series, we have the rear camera standard on all machines. So this improves safety, which is very important in the job sites. We also have a lot of comfort and ergonomy with a cab that has exceptional cab climate control, adjustable pivoting seats for optimal operator comfort, 12-volt outlets for cellular phones recharge, storage areas, radio ready. Also, we have the armrest with the propel lever and all the controls at your fingertips, integrated LCD display with anti-vandal protection, light package for comfortable nighttime operations, and also in the open platform in sun canopy version, ergonomic ingress and egress. So another feature that is standard on all Caterpillar soil compactors is the auto vibe functionality. How does it work? When you push the lever, the propel lever forward, and you're vibrating and compacting with vibration on, you're moving forward. Then at one point you need to reverse and do the reverse pass. So you put the lever in the neutral mode, and in that moment the vibration stops automatically, and then it reprises when you pull the lever backwards and do the rearwards pass. So how does this help? It avoids overcompaction in the area where you are reversing your propel direction, so you get consistency in compaction everywhere. It avoids excess vibration, also called decoupling, and these avoids unnecessary stress on the components or the mechanical components that would decrease their life, and also it reduces stress on the operator's back, so better operator comfort. The third field we just gonna shortly talk about is superior compaction performance through traction and high compaction force. So we have a few features: limited slip differential, dual pump. Let's talk about these. On all the B series soil compactors, Caterpillar soil compactors, we have two pumps, one providing propel to the drum drive motor to the front, and the other one providing propel to the rear tires. So these ensure you always get the best traction, and also we get a limited slip differential, so that when one tires encounters some muddy conditions, some slippery conditions, and starts slipping, the power is directed to the other tires that have more traction. And last but not least, high compaction force, excellent static linear load and amplitude on all Caterpillar models, which make sure the best compaction force is transferred to the ground and the specs are achieved quickly. So here are really a set of characteristics that really matter in achieving a convenient, quick, and per specs job. So before going to the questions, I see there are already some questions. Let's go a little bit through an encouragement to visit cat.com. On cat.com, you're going to find a lot of information about Caterpillar soil compactors. You're going to find the product range that I mentioned earlier. You're going to find all the features for all the products, and also the dealer contacts for your territory. So let's have a look at the first questions that I'm seeing you are asking in the comment section. I encourage you to ask questions in the comment section. So the first one is what are the benefits of using a pad food shell kit? What applications is best fit, smooth or pad food original drum? Okay, um, it's a good question. I did not mention that in addition to compactors that uh, CS cut compactor smooth drum and CP compactor pet food drum, you can also equip an existing smooth drum compactor with a pet food shell kit. So basically, you can make a smooth drum a pad food shell kit drum, and also use it then on cohesive soils like clay, where you can benefit the manipulation compaction force exerted by the pad foods. So the suggestion here is if you are consistently working with non-cohesive soil like gravel, stones, cobbles, then the smooth drum is the best because it's the best in transferring the vibration force, the impact force to that type of material. If you're consistently working on cohesive soil, such as clay, sticky materials, then Podfoot is the best choice. If from time to time you need you normally work on non-cohesive soil, but you want some from time to time to work on cohesive soil, then the smooth drum is right choice with a pet foot attachment, which is very easy to attach on top of the smooth drum and do the job in cohesive condition, and then remove it when you got back to a job in non-cohesive conditions. Oh, another question is about what is the most important compaction parameters? Amplitude, frequency, or static linear load? Okay. Okay, I'll relate the answer to this question to, well, maybe I can show it here, to the four forces we were mentioning in one of the first slides. So basically, when the vibrating drum vibrates as the vibon, it kind of has this hammering effect on the ground due to its eccentric weight rotating. And this exploits the impact force out of the four that helps get the material stiffer. So the travel of the drum during its vibration is the amplitude. And for instance, in the most soil compactor in Africa and Middle East, in the 10 to 12 tons size class, has a 2 millimeters travel width, so amplitude maximum, which is state of the art in that region. So it's very important to effectively transfer the impact energy to the soil. The other type of force is the static linear load. So we told about the impact. The static linear load is the very basic type of force deriving directly from its weight. So there are both two very important parameters. Static linear load is basically the weight at the front drum divided by the width of the drum, and kind of assesses how much static weight I'm exerting on the line that at every moment I'm on. So this is static linear load assesses the capability of the soil compactor to transfer static weight to the ground. So two different type of sources, both contribute in different stage of the compaction, and the two very good indicators of the ability to compact of the soil compactors. The third one is about beyond cut compaction control technology, do you have other technology items for a fleet of compactors? Well, yes. There's also, in addition to compaction meter value, which is the accelerometer-based way to understand the stiffness of the soil. The MDP, proprietary caterpillar machine drive power, that assesses the rolling resistance of the soil and hence the stiffness and the density. The mapping, which helps you understand where you already had the compaction done, how many passes, to what frequency, and which MDP or CMV value you got there. We also have the machine-to-machine communications that help connect different soil compactors in your fleet, so that you can visualize on soil compactor number 2 where soil compactor number 1 already had some passes. So that also helps save passes effectively also when you're operating a fleet of soil compactors. So yeah, the other one I would mention is machine-to-machine communication. What are the applications for the leveling blade option? This is a good one. You can see, for instance, here in this page from cat.com, there are soil compactors that have a blade on the front. It's an optional attachment. You can do some basic leveling. It will not be as strong as a dozer, but there are some fields where some basic leveling and compaction can be done concurrently by one single machine, one single soil compactor. In parking lots application, for instance, and the leveling blade is an option that is available on most of the Caterpillar soil compactor offering in the B series. All right, let me check if there are more questions. Okay. I think that's it for the question for the time being, and we almost used all the half hour available for this session. Again, if you have more questions, even in the next hours, we're here to answer. Please write them in the comment section. We'll answer all the questions. And again, I encourage you to visit cat.com to check the entire range and the closest dealer to your location. So that's it for today's session. So see you upon next Cut at Home session. And thank you for attending. Cheers.